Let me see the magazine, no, this time, because I can open it to the VMAX page to show that this is the...
You got a VMAX?
I've got a VMAX.
Okay. How many bikes you got?
I've just got a VMAX, a Busa and R1. With the R1 I gifted my director of Dostana. I said, give me a hit in Dostana and I'll give you what you want.
Okay.
And he said, give me a bike. I said, okay, and I gave him the R1.
Jeez. That's quite nice. I mean...
So he's a proud owner of this bike, and I have this baby.
It's quite. I mean, I think it's. I rode it for a brief while.
Yeah. And what do you think about it?
It is heavy. I mean, but it's
heavy.
The presence is quite good.
Yeah.
It's quite stunning.
Feels good. Is that you, Sunny?
No, that's not me. I've taken a picture.
Oh, you.
This was in Australia.
This is amazing. What a picture.
I'll show you what this guy is doing on the bike. Like, just the sparks. You can see.
Whoosh, I didn't notice this. That's amazing. I like the gear he's wearing as well.
Yep.
CD.
This is somewhere in near Melbourne. So these people are really...
but they've got great tracks. We don't have tracks like this.
Yep.
And honestly, we don't have roads like this. You know best.
Absolutely.
You know best. So we suffer on the road front.
Absolutely.
And, but it's great. It's just great that XBHP and Sunny have got a great magazine out, and when you see a complete bikers magazine in this country, you feel really proud that this man has done this. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, John.
This is super. This is super. And I wish one day I'll be in doing an interview in this very soon. For me, film magazines don't excite me, very honestly.
Yeah.
I'm an actor and they don't.
Yeah.
For me, magazines like this excite me. I must tell you how I started off. When I was about 8 years old, about 12, my cousin brother's a shippy in the merchant navy, and he bought a Honda CB754.
Right, the first
bike. It was naked, and I looked at the cylinders and I looked at the block, and I was like, how can anything be so beautiful?
Okay.
And I went and touched it, and he said, take your hands off. And I said, but I'm your brother. And he said, I don't care, take your hands off. And that's when I decided that I want to have a baby like this of my own.
Okay.
And finally I started off with a RD350.
Right.
And then I moved to a Ninja ZX11 D2.
Okay.
And I sold it to a pilot, the Ninja ZX11.
Right.
His name's Rustam. Rusty, they call him Rusty. And recently I tried to get in touch with him to get my baby back.
Right.
And they said he's not interested in selling it.
That's a collector's item.
Yeah,
yes.
It's beautiful. And then I moved on to a Busa. And after the Busa, the R1.
Yep.
And now the Busa, the VMAX.
Which model? The R1?
The R1 was a 08.
Yeah.
I get excited about riding bikes.
Yes.
I still ride Sunny, but I ride at about 2 in the morning.
Nobody knows who's riding.
No, they know. That's the strange part, because I wear a helmet and they still know who's riding, and it's like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. By the time I come back, there are 30, 40 bikers.
How do they know?
They just know. It's strange because I have a helmet.
Yep.
I ride slow,
Yep.
very responsibly, which I want to tell all the people who are going to be watching this,
Yep.
that I wear a helmet. We have a strange system in this country, and you have to deal with it. And I'm part of this strange system where I've been caught in a situation where I have to prove that I'm not guilty, and it's unfortunate because I've done nothing that's wrong. So I go slow, everything, but strangely they find out that it's me. And I've got an Enfield which is still going to get a Bombay registration very soon. It's got a Rajasthan registration. And I want my next bike I want, Sunny, is you help me and advise me on the next bike I should have. The one super bike I wanted was the Augusta
F4.
Yeah.
That's
your suggestion.
That's quite a beauty. I've only ridden the Brutale.
Okay.
I cannot really comment on the F4, but as you know, it's an Italian. It looks gorgeous.
What about the ZZR 1400? What's your take on that? Because I'll tell you what, I honestly don't like the mufflers. But honestly, I don't know whether I should love the fins at the side or not like it. It's a very strange call. Mahi, Dhoni.
Yep.
Dhoni's got a ZZR 1400 and he swears by it. He swears by it.
Yep.
So what do you think about that?
I think that's a trademark, those fins now. You can recognize it easily. There's those 4 headlights, looming at you.
I love those.
But I think yeah. I mean, it's basically Hayabusa and the ZX14 are basically going head to head.
Okay.
I mean, and we all know that obviously even looking for speed, but it's just 100 cc's, not even 100 cc's more than Hayabusa now.
Yeah.
It's just 50 odd cc's more. So I think that's a good bike, but I like the Busa better.
Yeah.
Somehow, you know, if you go on the looks.
On the
I like
looks.
it better.
But I must tell you this, Sunny. I was in Sepang for the MotoGP 2 years ago. I went on the grid before the
Okay.
race started off.
Okay.
I think Melandri was riding for the Honda Gresini team at that point.
Okay.
So it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Now he's moved to Kawasaki.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I went there on the track. I spoke to Marco and I met Vale.
Yep.
And I got off and then I was coming back home and I saw this beautiful looking thing coming from the back with these 4 lights.
Yeah.
And the sound when she went past me, I was like, whoa, man, I'm in heaven.
Yep.
And that was the ZZR. And I
Yep.
didn't like the ZZR till I saw her ride.
Right.
And
right.
she rode so beautifully and so smoothly, very unlike Kawasaki. I don't know why, strangely smoother. It seemed more refined. I've never ridden a ZZR, so I don't know. I also had a ZX12R. I forgot to tell you guys. I had a ZX12R
Yep.
in the middle, and for me, she was my wildest horse.
Yep.
You know?
I've ridden that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in first gear, when you used to rev, there used to go a wheel spin.
Yep. Yep.
Literally, to control that bike was a big deal. But, at that point of time, I didn't have time,
Yep.
and I was traveling abroad for a long time. I sold her off
To someone over here.
to someone in Bombay, and the 26th floods happened,
Yeah.
and she was submerged.
By when do you think you're getting the MU Vista?
I don't know actually. Let me tell you, my VMAX has done about. I have the VMAX for about 8 months now.
Okay.
She's done about 220 kilometers. I have the Busa for nearly a year,
Okay.
and she's done about 220, 230. So I've not had the time to ride.
Yep.
So everybody asks me that you've got 2 bikes, why do you want one more?
Yep.
And my only thing is that if you are a biker, you'll understand why you want to have that
Yeah, absolutely.
one more baby in your stable.
Yep.
So all the bikes that I have now are going to stay with me for good.
Right.
I want to be a Jay Leno.
Yeah.
I must have my own collection of motorcycles.
Okay.
I'm so happy that you are a representation of a lot of bikers and their identity in this country, because they need a magazine, a space, and I'm so happy that you have a magazine like this. Especially, there are things in your magazine that I love. Where you talk about motorcycles and service.
Yeah. DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself. This is awesome. This, you know, I mean, I'd love to be a part of this, because I think this is very, very important to this country. You have car magazines, you have an auto car, you have a car and bike, but in the car and bike is the only cars.
Yep.
You know, you don't have a motorcycle magazine.
Yes.
We need one. But I'm looking at, you know what, I think you should also have, Sunny, probably, if I may just advise.
Sure.
I think you should feature, you know, because I see a lot of these international magazines like Fast Bikes. I get Fast Bikes.
Yep.
And there's a column where people ask about their problems of motorcycles.
Right.
And you give a solution.
Right.
Or you get an official mechanic to, or someone to officially
Yeah, I
talk about it.
understand, yeah.
And it may not necessarily be a technical problem he may have.
Right.
He may have a problem like, I remember reading the problem about one guy. This guy was actually asking the editor of the magazine, saying that, and he lives in California, and he said, I parked the bike in my living room and my wife has threatened to walk out. And I have to decide between my motorcycle and my wife, what do I do?
Okay.
Can you believe it? You know? So, I don't know what the editor said. I don't even remember. He was being smart and he was on the fence
I
and
know. Politically correct. really.
politically correct. But I think it's important to keep your bike, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I know with the sacrifices we have all made.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's so much I can learn actually from all of you and from this magazine, because this is important for someone like me who's probably a little better, honestly, than an amateur rider. And I really think this is a big help to all of us. So I think keep it going, and please keep sending me my copy. I want my copy. Because I really enjoy this.
I mean, I would like to
look
give
forward
you each copy personally, if you know.
No,
if
that's
you've got
really
the time.
sweet of you. Really sweet of you. I've got a book at home which I want to show you.
Okay.
It says it's signed by Valentino Rossi. He wrote something to me. He's called the Doctor,
Yep.
and I spoke to him about motorcycles when he came to Delhi,
Right.
and he was listening to me. And I was generally talking to him about all his races,
Yeah.
and because I follow the MotoGP like religion.
Right.
So I don't know what I said, but through the entire conversation, because I spoke to him about the FZ16
Yep.
and specs and
Yep.
the R15 and stuff
Yep.
like that. So he wrote to the professor of motorcycling,
Yeah.
Chiao Ballet.
That's great.
It's just a motorcycle book given by
All
Adil
right.
Khanawala.
Okay. Yep.
So just opened it and he signed and he gave me that.
Okay.
So I think that's really special to me.
Yep.
In a way, it breaks my heart that he's going to Ducati, but I think it's a perfect marriage of an Italian rider and an Italian bike.
Yeah, just backyard and.
It's just superb. I mean, for a bike lover, you'd really want to see that guy fly
Absolutely.
on that bike. But I must tell you that Lorenzo is the future.
Yep.
Not because of Yamaha, but I really think the guy's got it in him. He's amazing.
But what I've heard, John, is that the ability of Whale to basically tell what's wrong with the bike and what's exact setup
Yeah.
they need to make the adjustments.
Yeah.
Because when he came to Yamaha, the M1 wasn't like really a kind of shambles. It was
Yeah.
really losing. So when he came to Yamaha, he
Yeah.
told them exactly what to do, and he started winning. I mean, that is how I know. I'm
Yeah,
not.
but that's one of the reasons also why Lorenzo started winning, because all the work that Ballet put in
Yep. Yep.
went to
I know.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
but people are saying that the way the Casey Stoner has been able to handle the Ducati, I don't know, really, if Valentino can do that.
I'm sure he can.
Most of the people who are having a bike, they're just like a status symbol, rather than
Yeah, that's the sad part, Sunny. Especially in our industry, a lot of people have bikes, and I remember, I wouldn't mention the actor, but he had a ZX12, and this is a long time ago. And I said, "May I see your bike?" And he called his servant and said, "Open the bike for him," and that killed it for me, because for me, you have to, you don't allow anybody to touch your baby.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like your child.
Absolutely.
But anyway, a lot of other actors have bikes, and total respect. But I just feel that, and this is to all the bikers there, that bikes shouldn't be kept as status symbols, but the bike should be an extension of yourself. And this is what I personally believe,
Right.
that I express myself through my motorcycle and the way I ride my motorcycle.
Right.
And I always say this: when I'm happy, I ride. When I'm sad, I ride. When I'm angry, I ride.
Right.
When I want to be alone, I ride.
Right.
When I really want to celebrate, I ride.
Right.
My birthday is on the 17th of December, and the only gift I can give myself is probably a ride.
Yep.
And that's all I want. Just solitude, and ride my motorcycle and just feel my space, because
Yeah, I
and
know.
that's something that I don't get. I really miss riding a lot, and I used to ride a lot. But one promise in the new year that I'm going to do is that I'm going to just ride as much as possible, because I want to ride a lot. I keep getting hurt. I've broken most of my bones, for all the riders to know. I've cracked both my bones on my forearms.
Okay.
I've severed all my veins on the left leg here. And you see this?
Because of bikes.
The peg of the R1 went through it.
Oh, shit.
This is for you guys. If you see this, can you see this?
Yep.
This is the peg of the R1 went about 2 inches through, and all my veins were severed, and I was on crutches for 6 months. And I've broken this leg too, but it's fun. I think it's nice, because the idea is to get back on the motorcycle.
Sure.
The idea is not to stay off the motorcycle.
I mean, I'm glad there are people like you, seriously, who can make a difference by telling people what to do, how to keep
Yeah.
their bikes.
Yeah.
People who will listen to.
Yeah, and just general maintenance, you see, because and that's what I like about XBHP. I like the fact that the do-it-yourself
Yep.
column that you have teaches you how to generally maintain your motorcycle, which I think is just the basic thing. I'm not saying learn how to take out the chain and sprocket or your battery or your ECU. No one's getting into that space.
Right.
No one's asking you to map your bike so you can increase your torque.
Right.
We're not speaking that language. We're speaking the language that just tells you clean your bike,
Right.
clean your motorcycle, but try and clean it yourself.
Right.
That's the only thing. You never know when the cloth has some grains on it and
Yep.
scratches, and some idiot will go and clean your bike wrongly. You'll die.
Yep. Yep.
So I clean my motorcycle myself,
Okay.
and I keep my own bags. I keep everything, and I clean up myself. And if someone's cleaning it for me when I'm hurt, like I did an action sequence today, I'm hurt.
Yep.
if I ask Chiru's my man Friday, if he cleans it for me, he knows exactly how I do it. So he'll clean it exactly like that.
Right.
And my Hayabusa's got a cowl at the back, so no one
Okay.
can sit at the back.
Right.
It's the best solution though.
Yeah.
Let it be yourself.
This is great.
I've got another place now,
Okay.
just to keep the motorcycles.
Really?
I bought the place for the motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah. For the garage.
For the garage. And
Yeah.
the garage is my house for my motorcycles.
Okay.
And right now I've got 3 motorcycles in there. I'd love to have about 15, 20 motorcycles.
Okay.
Dhoni's got 29 motorcycles. This is
Right.
information for people who don't know.
Great.
He's got 29 motorcycles.
Wow.
But I'd love to have at least about 30. One
But
more.
do you name your motorcycles?
No, I don't.
No?
But the guy who designed my Enfield for me
Right.
gave the Enfield a name.
Okay.
And he called the Enfield Lightfoot.
Lightfoot.
Yeah, but it's so light because after the VMAX and I sit on the
Yep.
Enfield
Yep.
and I'm 94 kilos.
Okay.
And we made the Enfield look very retro, like
It was a
Brad
black
Pitt.
one, right?
It's a rust color bike,
Okay.
and it looks like Brad Pitt's motorcycle in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So it looks
Yeah.
very retro, and I'd actually designed it,
Okay.
and we sat and we designed that motorcycle, the chassis and everything,
Okay.
so that I could keep it on my terrace.
So is it there? Right?
No, the problem is after we designed it, I got a little selfish, and I told the guy, put in a block, and I want to see how she runs.
Okay.
So he cut the silencer. Now you can hear her like 2 kilometers
Yep,
away.
yep, I know.
Wake up the neighbors. Bum, 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 bum.
Nobody we can beat the Enfield in that.
Yeah, super. But now I want to take off the block and keep her on my terrace for a
Right.
bit, at least in the rains.
Right.
You know. So if anybody wants a block, I'll give it out on 2 XBHP,
Wow,
and then
I
you
mean,
can
this
do
is
something with the block. Yeah.
Got it on record now.
Yeah, got it on record. We should increase and give the biking community more respectability.
Yes.
And this is another thing, Sunny, I want you to tell all your bikers, because I'm sure the people who come onto your site and who read your magazine are people who are hardcore motorcyclists.
Yes, absolutely.
They have to educate the other idiots to wear helmets.
Yeah, that is some
You
very
know,
sad part. Yes.
It's a very sad part because I live in Bandra, and every time a fast bike goes by, there's a senior lady or a man looking at me and saying, it's all because of you.
Yeah.
And I tell these young kids, I say, please wear a helmet. I say, how is a girl even going to see you if
Yeah.
you're going so fast?
Yeah.
Wear a helmet, slow down in front of her and take off your helmet.
You can always wear a cool helmet. Even
Wear a cool helmet.
You know, I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
say.
In fact, I've got about 8 helmets. I've got a limited edition Agostini helmet.
Okay.
I've got 2 Rossi helmets. I've got Suomis, I've got Arise, I've got I had a UVEX. Beautiful helmets, but
I remember you gifting a helmet to a guy in Faraz show.
Yeah, in Tere Mere Beach mein. That's a UVEX species. You know how much a helmet costs? Leave aside the cost, but it's a very special one. It was like about 800 euros. But that boy just loved it, and I
remember
just gave it
he
to him.
cried. He cried on the screen.
He's still in touch with me.
Is it?
He's still in touch with me. He comes home. He's like a friend today.
Great.
Yeah. I got a Shoei for Bipasha also.
okay.
The one without the...
Yeah. Yeah.
And that also lies in my house. So
Right.
they just lined up. My wardrobe, half my wardrobe is only helmets and biker jackets.
Okay.
Because I've got nice Alpine Star gear.
Yep.
But the sad part is again, in this city, it's difficult.
It's very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
I mean, I just really wish somehow India would have. I mean, this is very,
Yeah.
not good to say, but lesser people. I mean, lesser people and more
educated
etiquettes
yeah, in
on
terms
the
of
road.
traffic sense. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's what we lack. I don't even mind the people, but I'm saying we just lack traffic sense.
We're just living on luck. I mean, every
Yeah.
time I go out, I say, I'm just lucky I came back.
Yeah.
It's like playing a video game.
Yeah.
You just have to avoid people and anyone
Yeah.
coming from here, there. But it has made better riders out of Indians.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I mean,
You know the funny thing happened to me. I said it on one of my shows. In fact, was when I was parked somewhere at a signal late in the night in Bandra. A group of youngsters came on in a car next to me. I was wearing my helmet, and they looked at me and they said, "He thinks he's John Abraham," and they turned away.
no.
Yeah, and I was just looking, and for a second I wanted to take off my helmet, but then I smiled and I was very happy that they said that. And I think it's a big compliment, and it's very sweet.
Really, I think you've got the power to change a lot of things. You save lives, and we can just carry the message to real bikers.
I think great, yeah. good, yeah, Sunny. We've got something great going.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much.
Super, super.